Hey folks, Eric here on Thursday, April 20th to talk about the comics that came in for me on Wednesday, April 19th, and a few things that came in earlier that I'm slowly picking up as I recover from back issues. Back issues, not comic book back issues. Let's jump in and see what I got. It wasn't a lot that actually came in this week. I might have. Well, I was going to say equal amounts of what came in this week and what I picked up from older stuff, but it's not quite. It's close. First of all, we have Chilling Adventures presents The Cult of That Wilkin Boy. It's a one-shot. It's from Archie Comics. It is written by Cullen Bunn. So I always pick up the Chilling Adventures Presents, and it's always nice when I get something written by Cullen Bunn. I just, over the past weekend, read his Chilling Adventures Presents Salem, the cat, and that was really good. So I'm hoping that this is just as good. And then we have Deceased, War of the Undead Gods, issue 8 of 8, the last issue. I just read 6 and 7. I feel like it was 5 and 6. I hope I'm not missing an issue. No, it had to be 7. But anyway, this is DC's zombie stuff. The third in the trilogy, and there's a little side story as well. So the fourth in the trilogy. As I said, I just read issues 6 and 7. I'm trying to catch up on stuff. And it's pretty wild. Some crazy stuff going on. Hopefully, it'll have a good conclusion. And then the last of the floppies. Told you there wasn't much this week. Vampirus Carmella, issue 15 from Warrant, I believe. Black and white horror anthology in the vein of the old Vampirilla and eerie and creepy and those kinds of books. So different writers, different artists, different stories. I always dig this stuff. Is that? Yeah, a Frank Frazetta cover. Always happy to have those. And then we have some collected editions. I'm going to jump to this one because this just came in this week. And this is The Jurassic League from DC Comics. And this collects issues 1 through 6 of The Jurassic League, which is basically all the characters are anthropomorphic dinosaurs. And it's got some crazy art. If you can see some of the art there. Definitely looking forward to reading this. It might jump to the top of some reading pile. And then these are some things that came out before, but I've finally been able to pick up. We have Defenders Beyond from Marvel Comics. This is issues 1 through 5 of Defenders Beyond, plus material from Thor number 24. I don't know what that's about. But this is a follow-up to a Defenders miniseries that came out. I don't remember what it was called, Defenders something. And I got the individual issues for that and decided to wait on the trade for this. Got Tiger on the cover. We got Hellcat and what else have we got? The Demon, Valkyrie, Silver Surfer, Angel Beast, all sorts of great characters. So we'll see what this is all about. In the last one, Doctor Strange had to put together a new team of defenders to take on this multi-universal threat. And it was kind of cool because it was not a multiverse kind of thing, but a time thing, as in what was threatened was the original universe that existed, and then the universe that existed after that, and after that, and after that, and then the current universe. If you see, a linear time thing as opposed to a multiversal thing. So that was pretty cool. We'll see. I don't know where this one's going to go. Then we have A Town Called Terror from Image Comics, written by Steve Niles, which is the main reason I picked it up. And it has a 1 on the side, so I don't know if there's more than... I thought this was just a mini-series. Looks like it's 1 through 6. And I believe this is the town. Yes. There's a town where monsters go to hang out. It says, Terror is a town of monsters. Its boundaries hidden from the world. You can only find terror if you've been welcomed, but it may not let you leave. So it's someone who has escaped from this town, and then their mother has disappeared, and they're going back to figure out what happened to their mother. But a town of monsters. And it's, Steve Niles, who wrote 30 Days of Night, probably what he's most known for. And but he's done all sorts of stuff. There was another one, October Country, was made into a series on Netflix, I believe. But I dig Steve Niles. And then finally, We Only Find Them When They're Dead, Volume 3. Doesn't seem to have a subtitle. The Soul. There it is. Book 3, The Soul, right in front of me. This is from Boom Studios. I haven't read Volume 2 yet, but I did read the first part, which I have in individual issues. The Volume 2 I have collected, and it's a science fiction, and at least in part 1, basically there are these giant bodies, dead bodies, floating in space, and people scavenge resources from them. And it's very corporate, very sort of political. You have to be assigned a certain spot. Certain spots are better than others. And the crew that we're following, something happens, and they find one at the very end of the issues that I've read. I believe, if I remember correctly, they find a living one of these beings. And then I don't know what happens after that, because I haven't read the second volume yet. I may have to push that one up on the list too, so I can read that and then this one. And that's it. That's what I picked up this week. 4 things that came in this week. The 2 regular comics, the Vampirus, Carmella, and the Jurassic League. And then the other 3 are things that have come in previously. I'm slowly picking up. So right now, left in my file, there is a trade paperback from AWA. That's $10. There's a Batman hardcover, the first volume written by Chip Zdarsky. It's $25. There are 2 epic collections, a Doctor Strange and a Fantastic Four. And then there are now, because there actually was something else that came in this week, 3 omnibuses, which are, 2 of them are huge, very expensive. The one that came in this week is a third of the size of the other ones, but it's still it's ridiculously expensive for the size that it is. I don't know what's up with that, but so that's what's left. So hopefully I can pick up the trades and stuff. I told Ed at Comics R Go, Sheffield, Ohio, that I would, once I got everything except for the omnibuses, I was going to start paying on those, do a payment plan, because they are very expensive. Work, past the back issues, work has been slow, even though they keep scheduling us for a lot of hours. This week we were scheduled for 45 hours. I worked less than 6 on Monday because they didn't have anything for me to do, and then didn't work at all on Tuesday because they still didn't have anything for me to do. So that's never good. And then they have us scheduled for 50 hours next week. Anyway, that's all neither here nor there. That's not what you're here for. You're here to see the comics that I got, and maybe for my question, which I thought of ahead of time, which is, it deals with Jurassic League. So let's show that again, because I really dig the artwork and the designs on the dinosaur superheroes. There's the back cover. So Marvel, DC has this. And maybe some other stuff. I don't know everything. Marvel did Marvel Apes, where you had, I guess, anthropomorphic simian versions of the superheroes. And they actually tied it in because there was a supervillain who became a good guy named Gibbon. And it turns out that he was from this other universe where it's all simians, apes, primates. Maybe that's the way to go. And I really liked that. I think they did 2 miniseries. I really enjoyed that. People who are regular viewers know that I really like alternate versions of characters. So my question to you is, what do you think of this practice? And not just, I'm not talking about alternate versions like Batman is in the 1920s or Superman crashed in Russia instead of Kansas. But something that goes a little further, like this, where Marvel had ape versions of their characters. DC has dinosaur versions of their characters. Do you think it's silly? Do you think it's interesting? Do you think it depends on how well the story is told? As I said, I like alternate versions. And who wrote this? Juan Gedeon. I don't know if that's how you actually say their name. But, ooh, look at that. So pretty. Not a writer I'm familiar with, but I have to. So Juan Gedeon and Daniel Warren Johnson are the writers. I put my faith in DC to put out a decent product, hopefully. Of course, anything that's poorly written or with horrible artwork, I'm not going to enjoy. So that's kind of neither here nor there when it comes to this, answering this question. I dig it. I think we've all gotten that. I've made that point. Really enjoyed Marvel Apes. Hoping to really enjoy this. I'd like to see this kind of bizarre take on heroes. But what do you think? And as an ancillary question, if this is something that catches your interest, what creature would you like to see the characters represented as? Is that the way to put it? Do you want to see a world where they're anthropomorphic cows or cats? Speaking of this sort of thing, there's a game called Arkham Horror, the card game. And there is, I guess it's an expansion pack. You have to have a base set to play it. But there's a little pack called Barkham Horror, where the investigators, instead of being humans, are dogs, anthropomorphic dogs. And the bad guys, they're still Lovecraftian bad guys, but the main bad guys in the theme is cats. And I have that. I have not had a chance to play it yet, but I just love that kind of stuff. So, what do you think of this in general? And what animal or creature or whatever would you like to see used in this way? That's the question. Let me know in the comments below. And if you have any comments, questions, or corrections, please put those in the comments below. Comments are open for spoilers. Just post spoiler warning. We try to be polite here on my channel. Please like, share, and subscribe, all the usual YouTube stuff. If you'd care to follow me on other social media, my Twitter is @Ronin5757. My Instagram, where I post pictures of books, comic books, board games, and fuzzy animals, is Eric Smith 5757. That's Eric with a K, ERIKSMITH 5757. That's all I have for you this week. So until next week, read more comic books.